online, and it lets you as the organizer to bring together a group of guests who are great at what they do within a specific topic, which is the topic of the Telly Summit, interview those guests either live or pre-recorded, and then present them to a large audience. And the Telly Summits are a bit of an art form. There's been phases when they've been really popular and then they sort of go out of fashion a little bit, but they remain a fantastic way for you to build your list, to establish expert positioning and sort of authority status in your niche, and to monetize that event with sales of either tickets or bonus or add-on products. Sometimes Telly Summits are also done as a charity raising exercise, and list building is the primary benefit that people get. So there's lots of different ways to do Telly Summits. What I'll do now is go through some of my favorite case studies. So these are Telly Summits that people have put on that have a really fantastic branding or some other feature that made them stand out to me, and I thought I'd share them just to give a bit of a hat tip to the people who've done such great work and get you inspired about what's possible with a Telly Summit, because you'll see that the ones that have really exciting, interesting branding are much more appealing and likely to draw you in, get you involved and get people to turn up. And really the success of a Telly Summit depends on your ability to attract heaps of audience who are in your target market and really get that excitement and buzz happening around your summit. So this video will be attached to this post. If you're watching it on YouTube, you should be able to find a link to go back to the post. I've got more details in here talking about the Telly Summit, and they just represent my thinking at this stage when I'm planning a Telly Summit for later this year. So I'm going to go through some of the most popular and successful Telly Summits that I could find online. Perhaps the longest running I could find was the Social Media Success Summit, put on by the Social Media Examiner, which is a really popular social media news and information site. So they've been running for 7 years and have a different theme each year. Well worth checking each of these out. So as we go through, I'll just visit the site. So this is the page for the Social Media Success Summit. This is the 2015 version. I haven't seen the 2016 version, but it's probably on its way. And you'll see some common trends with these summits. So keep an eye out for the things that are in common, the things that you like, the things you don't like. Notice the ones that stand out and look great versus the ones that maybe don't look quite as flash, and decide how you want to get it done if you decide to go ahead and put it on a Telly Summit yourself. So as is typical for summits, we've got a range of presenters, and if you're in the online marketing space, the social media space, a lot of these people will be familiar. So one of the advantages of putting on a summit, especially if you're not currently like the top of your field or a standout expert, is that if you can organize a great event and get the right people to come along, then suddenly you're hosting this large event with the who's who of your industry. That's a great way to position you as an authority and a celebrity within your industry, as well as build relationships with these people who will be good contacts for further down the track and get you on the radar both of guests and of the presenters themselves. Now, one of the general trends that you'll see when people run a Telly Summit, and one of the reasons for doing it, is to build your list. So the person who hosts the Telly Summit sort of collects the email addresses of everyone who comes along. Here the Social Media Success Summit is talking about the benefits of their event, and have a read through these in your time. Of course, as they point out, the great thing about an online event is that you get to watch it live and be part of a live event, but without having to travel and have those extra expenses of accommodation or travel. If you then buy the product, you'll have access to the recordings as well. And typically with a summit, there's heaps of value on display. People are sharing their best stuff, and they often have bonuses of products for sale at a discount. And part of the reason for doing that is to encourage the people who attend the summit who are interested in a speaker to then go and purchase or sign up for free for some of their stuff, so that speaker builds their audience of the people who are most interested in their stuff. So it's a way for them to grow their list as well. So this second one is the Happiness Telly Summit. The Happiness Telly Summit is seems to be aimed at women, almost all women speakers. There's a couple of male speakers. They've had at least a couple of events so far, and their theme this year, and typically each year there is a theme, is around freedom from judgment and how you can release judgment and find happiness in your life. So, we all want to be happier. That sounds like a great endeavor. Now, this next one is the Ultimate Man Summit. And here, of course, we've got mostly male speakers. They seem to all be male speakers, put on by Richard Fu. This is the organizer here. So that's another thing you'll notice. The organizer is typically also a speaker. And this is, again, a great way for you to sort of get your name in lights alongside the leading people in your field by speaking alongside these guests. I don't recognize most of these guys, but for example, John DeMartini is a very high profile speaker about sort of spirituality and in the self-help niche. But here he's talking to the topic of what it's like to be a man. And for someone to be on stage next to John DeMartini, that might be their lifelong dream. One way to achieve that is by organizing a summit. And you get to have your speakers, the people you'd most like to see live, you get to actually have them with you and be the organizer and on stage with them effectively at the virtual summit. So you'll see, as with the last one, feature images of each of the speakers, the overall context, and an option to sign up. So this one's already run. This is from last year, 2015. But if this is a success, no doubt I'll be running it again this year. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. So this is one of my favorite summits. This is the Online Business Superhero Summit. So once again, they've got some online business some rock stars here, people like Jeff Bullis, Todd Brown, Justin Livingston, Mario Brown, Marissa Murgatroyd. They're all names I know. Melissa Murgatroyd is either the organizer or was heavily involved in the production of this. She does a great summary of how she does this, which I'll show you shortly. And yeah, I just think the branding and presentation here is really fun and engaging. And this would definitely get my attention and have me interested in signing up. Here there's some testimonials about the benefits people have got from attending the last summit. So really this is a sales page. It's super attractive. It makes the product look very tangible and like it would be great to own. So, and as I said, typically these summits are live streamed. So when they have the summit, usually you can watch them free while they're on, but then you don't get access to the recordings unless you buy them. And when you buy, typically you also get some bonus products, or there's the opportunity to sign up for free bonuses with individual speakers, which helps them build their list of people who are interested in what they do. Okay, this event is the Video Superhero Summit. So this is put on by the same team or a similar team to the last one. I know Marissa Murgatroyd is involved with this one again, and you can see similar branding. This one's a little bit more action hero oriented rather than superheroes with the last one, just by the look of it. But you can see similar theming and branding, and this one's all about online video. So there's a lot of people out there who've been thinking, oh, gee, I should do some video, and they might see a course from one person for $100 and think, oh, look, I don't have time or the money to do that, and be thinking about buying. But then they see something like this, and there's just so much value on offer. It's only a couple of $100, I think, and it's just irresistible to people to sign up and also have the benefit of being part of this live event. That buzz factor is very appealing. And look, to me, all this extra branding, the comic book theme, it's all really enticing. So this one I think wins my award for the most fun and exciting version of a Telly Summit. So if it certainly sets the bar very high and shows you what's possible when you're organizing a summit. So get imaginative and invest in good design. You'll see, if you compare the different ones out there, that this really stands out because of its fantastic design. Okay, also in my resource guide, I've included a few how-to and guides. So ones from around the internet that I've found helpful when I've been planning my summit. This one just has 3 steps to organizing a summit. I like their simple explanation of how it can help you build your list and build the list of the participants. step-by-step guide as to how to put your event on. So I found that one quite helpful from Tracy Lawler. And one of my favorite Telesummit experts is Nick Unsworth. So he's put on a lot of Telesummits over his career, both for himself and in conjunction with clients or for other people. He's been involved in some. And he's got a couple of great training videos where he talks about how to put the Telesummit on, but also talks about the impact that running Telesummits has on his business. And, I've sort of watched him along his journey, and it's really clear to see that these were tipping points. They gave him a lot of confidence. They, sort of put him on the map. And, I think, for example, he got an Inc. magazine article run on this topic because it was, people were just interested in how do you write a Telesummit. He's sort of made himself a bit of an expert in Telesummits. And I find him to be a great speaker on Telesummits, webinars, and Facebook ads. So definitely check Nick out if those things are yours. This is a really long training session. There's also another shorter video here, which I've included in this article about how Nick does Telesummit. So make sure you watch that as well. This one is sort of some mistakes to avoid when you're running a Telesummit, and Nick touches on those as well. A Telesummit's a big project. It's usually a list building and profile building primarily, rather than it sort of being a really big money spinner. You can make some money, but you've sort of got to commit to it. And you're the host of an event. It's like having a big party. There's the benefits are often less tangible than monetary, although people can successfully host monetary ones. There's quite a lot sort of done for charity, and then the organizer might make sales on the back end and build their list as a benefit. So there's lots of ways to make it work for your business. And then finally, I've got a link to Lisa Sasovich's Ultimate Telesummit Formula. Now, I've been a really big fan of Lisa's sales training and webinar training, and here she sort of brings it together to help you put on a live Telesummit event. So a live online event. And I should say Virtual Summits and Telesummits are pretty much the same thing. There's both can be either audio or video, and these days I'd encourage you to do video and then also make it into audio if you want to. Video is just the richest format. And yeah, Lisa's got some great training. If you go to this training, you should be able to access a free video. If not, you might be able to Google one. But yeah, the page I've linked to should give you some free video training from Lisa, which sort of shows how she puts on the Telesummit, and then there's the option to buy the paid product. And I've got some of Lisa's other things. I haven't bought this, but it's always very high quality, and she's super switched on. So I'll leave you there, and just remember, you've got the full article with all these individual notes talking about how these various businesses have done it. And I did mention Marissa Murgatroyd's debrief of the Video Superhero Summit. That's a really great listen as well. I think that and Nick Unsworth stuff's probably the most useful. Here's how we did it, and here's what it did for us. Very inspiring. So have a good listen through at the Telesummit resource guide, and you'll come away much more prepared to put on your first Telesummit. And you'll really see your face up here with some of the top speakers in your industry. That's a pretty difficult thing for a lot of people to get early on in their career, or if they've been at it for a while and not getting the recognition they want online. Organizing your own Telesummit is a great way to go. So I hope that's helpful, and check out Digital Influence for more online marketing and brand building advice. I'm Dallas McMillan from Influential. Look forward to talking to you again.